showing me what's important.
You're a good robot.
This is Astro Boy. And this is Adam. And they're the same person.
Wow, we're identical.
And today we're going to be looking at the anime Pluto on Netflix to see how it's connected to the manga and anime Astro Boy. Now, I had never watched or read Astro Boy from beginning to end, so I had no idea what part of Astro Boy Pluto was supposed to be based on. So after doing some Googling, it seems that Pluto is based on an arc in Astro Boy called The Greatest Robot on Earth. And after seeing that, I thought that Pluto would have taken the main premise of the arc and taken the story a different direction, which it kind of did. But there are still a lot of elements from the original source material that are still present in Pluto, like the characters. Since I watched Pluto, then I read the Astro Boy arc. From my perspective, I thought that Pluto had increased the number of robots that were targeted to set the stage for the motivations of the antagonists and why they were mad at the 7 robots and the other countries in general. But the original Astro Boy arc also has all 7 robots as well. The main thing that differs between them is that the character designs are completely different for some of the characters. While characters like Astro, Dr. Tenma, and Professor Ochonamizu look similar to the design in Astro Boy, characters like Epsilon, Dissect, and Professor Abula look completely different.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
But these character design changes were well made because they need to look like they're a part of this world that Pluto is set in. That's why I think Hercules and Brando being made into wrestlers was a good choice. While it may be fine for robots like this to be roaming around in the world that the original Astro Boy manga is set in Pluto, it's really out of place. Hey, if you're still here, you must be liking this video, so don't forget to hit subscribe. But the look of the characters isn't the only area that has similarities between these two stories. The stories of the characters are pretty similar as well. Things about characters or happen to characters in the original arc are also in Pluto too, like Dissect being a detective, Professor Abula and Goji being the same person and them being a robot, Epsilon being involved with some kind of orphanage,
crying and listen to me. I must say goodbye to you all.
And Pluto not wanting to fight these other robots. Now, no, I'm not going to fight Astro. Why not? I don't want to destroy Astro, I would rather be his friend. Now, like I said, all of these are both in the anime Pluto and the original arc, but there is some variation among these because the anime adds more context, nuance, and depth to a lot of these things. The biggest of these would be Dissect's story, because in the original arc, we only know him as a German investigator before he gets decimated by Pluto. But in the anime, he's our main character before he dies, and we follow him around for the majority of the show. And as we're following him around, we get to see stuff about his life, his thoughts, his inner conflicts, and more. Even simple scenes like this have more nuance in the anime when we know Epsilon gave up the rest of his power to protect one of his kids that were kidnapped. But it's not only the characters that have more nuance in Pluto, the story does as well. In the original arc, Pluto is created because the Sultan, who's supposed to be our main antagonist, was kicked out of his country by his citizens. So he has Pluto created to get his country back, and then he goes for world domination because why not? While in the anime, Pluto is created by Professor Abula, who developed a deep hatred for the people and the robots that brought a war to his country and decimated it. While both of these are valid motivations, the subtle details and the motivations in the anime, like the hatred of Professor Abula and his hatred persisting in a robot that thinks they're human, are things that made this show so enjoyable when I was watching it. I also enjoyed the philosophical questions that it brought up as well, as we saw how human the robots were becoming. It reminded me a lot of Blade Runner because a lot of the robots had families, jobs, even went on vacation, but they didn't have the same rights as people or the same autonomy. They were even built with restrictions preventing them from killing humans. And it made me wonder questions like, are humans the only ones allowed to have autonomy? And if so, what defines a human? This subtext of what it means to be human is something that I would say is the biggest difference between Pluto and the original arc from Astro Boy. Unless you're a robot that was watching this video on autoplay, you must have loved this video because you made it all the way to the end. So go ahead and hit subscribe so you can see more videos like these. Also, hit the like button to let me know that you like this video and comment down below what you liked about Pluto. See you guys next time. Peace!